All right, we're going to talk about Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. I already know it. That chickeness. There's an extra disc in here. Yeah, King. Fucking look at this artwork. Jesus Christ, it's fucking amazing. Seriously, I can't remember the artist off the top of my head. But Jesus Christ, they're just on top of their game. So yes, there's a direct sequel to Godzilla 84 and Godzilla versus Biollante. I'm gonna read the plot synopsis. Well, I'm just gonna read the plot here because honestly, it's all over the place, and I need to read it so I can try and get it in my brain. Because honestly, it's fucking batshit. So I need to read this just to fully understand it myself. And I think it's good for this because it's hard to hard to just fully understand the story in this because it is utterly batshit. So, in 1992, Godzilla, still weakened after being infected by the BNEB, anti-nuclear energy bacteria, remember that? Meanwhile, science fiction author Kenshiro Terasawa is writing a book about the monster and learns of a group of Japanese soldiers stationed on Lagos Island during the Gilbert and Marshall Islands campaign. In February 1944, while threatened by American forces, the Japanese soldiers were saved by a mysterious dinosaur, which Terasawa theorizes was subsequently mutated into Godzilla in 1954 after the hydrogen bomb test on the island. Yoshiuki Shindo, a wealthy businessman and army veteran, commanded the Lagos garrison and confirms that the dinosaur did indeed exist. Meanwhile, a UFO lands on Mount Fuji. All right, we've already got like World War II dinosaurs and now a UFO. While the JSDF, which is the Japanese Self-Defense Force, investigates while greeted by Wilson, Grenkigo, and Emma Kano, and the android M11. The visitors, known as the Futurons, explain that they are from the year 2204, where Godzilla has completely destroyed Japan. The Futurons plan to travel back in time to 1944 and remove the dinosaur from Lagos Island before the island is irradiated, thus preventing the mutation of the creature into Godzilla as proof of their story. Emma presents a copy of Terasawa's book, which has not yet been completed in the present. Okay. Alrighty, we've got fucking dinosaurs from World War II. We've got UFOs. We've got time travel. We're going nuts. The Futurons, Terasawa, and Miki Sugusu, and Professor Mazukiya, I'm butchering all these names, so apologies, board a time shuttle and travel back to 1944 to Lagos Island. There, as American forces land and engage the Japanese forces commanded by Shindo, the dinosaur attacks and kills the American soldiers. The US Navy then bombs the dinosaur from the sea and gravely wounds it. After Shindo and his men leave the island, M11 transports the dinosaur from Lagos Island into the Bering Strait. Before returning to 1992, the Futurons secretly leave 3 small creatures called Durats on the Lagos Island, which are exposed to radiation from the hydrogen bomb in 1954 and merge to become King Ghidorah. After returning to 1992, the Futurons use King Ghidorah to subjugate Japan and issue an ultimatum, but Japan refuses to surrender. Okay. We're not all over it, but I still don't know why they needed to bring... These are future people. Why did they need to bring anyone else with them to commit their plan? And then that then tells them about their plan? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why, if you're future people, why do you need to bring a bunch of randos from the 90s with you? Like, just do it. No one knows about it. And then you fucking won. It's confusing. Feeling sympathy for the Japanese people, Emi reveals to Tirazuya the truth about the Futuron's mission. In the future, Japan is an economic superpower that has surpassed the United States, Russia, and China, somehow. The Futurons travel back to a time in order to change history and prevent Japan's future economic dominance by creating King Ghidorah and using it to destroy present-day Japan. At the same time, they plan to erase Godzilla from history so it would not pose a threat to their plans. After M11 brings Emi back to the UFO, she reprograms the android so it will help her. Okay, so there is a slight problem with this movie that a lot of people point out. It's very pro-Japan nationalist type. Because all the bad guys are white characters. All the bad guys in this are basically, like, white people. Even the only person, like, from the Futurons who then portrays everyone of them is Japanese. And we see, like, yeah, World War II Japanese like team, Japanese soldiers and a bunch of Americans that get killed. Like, okay, that fits, but it's just there's a like that. They say like, yeah, obviously they're not nationalists, they're not anti-American or anything. It's just the idea is the one person who then betrays the Futurons, future people, is your only other like Japanese actor. It's like, come on, guys. Come on. Yeah, maybe make that person a white character so it's not just entirely all the good guys are Japanese and anyone who's bad guys is not Japanese. It's like, come on, guys. Let's just finish this. So, Shindo plans to send his nuclear submarine to the Bering Strait and irradiate the dinosaur in order to create Godzilla. However, Tirazuya discovers too late that the Russian nuclear submarine sank there in 1970s and released enough radiation to mutate the dinosaur into Godzilla. En route, in the Bering Strait, Shindo's submarine is destroyed by Godzilla, who absorbs its radiation, recovers from the ANEB, and becomes larger. Godzilla arrives in Japan and is met by King Ghidorah. They fight at equal strength, each immune to the other's attacks. With M11 and Tirazuya's aid, Emi sabotages the UFO's control over King Ghidorah, causing the three-headed monster to lose focus during the battle. Godzilla eventually ends the battle by blasting off King Ghidorah's middle head, before sending King Ghidorah crashing into the ocean. Godzilla destroys the UFO, killing Wilson and Grinkiko. It turns its attention to Tokyo, destroying the city and eventually Shindo. Emi travels to the future with M11, returns to the present day with Mecha King Ghidorah, a cybernetic version of King Ghidorah. The cybernetic King Ghidorah blasts Godzilla with beams, which proves useless. Godzilla then counters by relentlessly blasting King Ghidorah with an atomic breath before King Ghidorah launches clamps to restrain Godzilla. Ghidorah carries Godzilla out of Japan, but Godzilla breaks from its restraint and causes King Ghidorah to send both crashing into the ocean. Emi then returns to the future, but not before informing Tirazuya that she is his descendant. At the bottom of the ocean, Godzilla awakens and roars over Mecha King Ghidorah's remains before swimming away. Okay, so that's a lot. So, it's confusing. So, it doesn't know, none of it establishes the rules of time travel in this series, which is one of my main complaints. Like, obviously we know there are multiple Godzillas, because the three movies before this that are canon are Godzilla 1954, Godzilla 1984, or The Return of Godzilla, and Godzilla vs. Biollante. Well, 54, I guess, didn't happen because the dinosaur that was turned into Godzilla was on that island. I guess. We don't know. So that means technically 54 didn't happen? which would change a lot of events in the subsequent films. But obviously, we know that's a separate Godzilla from the one we see, because it says here, in the 1970s. Godzilla got mutated. So, yeah, it's a confusing plot if you think about it for too long. Is the main thing, is what I'm saying. It's a very confusing plot if you think about it for too long. And I know, it's a kaiju film, it's madness, but I don't know. I think it's just, it's my 21st century brain. People just explain things better, and people just go, well, things happened. And you're like, what? I feel like just in general, writers are generally a bit better explaining things. Don't always have to explain things after the fact. Because they know, fucking nerds like me will question shit. But yeah, it's a confusing movie, to say the least. It's a weird one. Even though it's confusing and a bit mad, I still like the human plot because it's easy to follow. Unlike the last film, you're like, huh? What? I like the plot, even though it makes no fucking sense why the future people, the Futurons, would take some people back with them to the past. I don't. Unless they needed, they had the guy's research, and they had a descendant of him. So it's like you have the guy who's pretty smart about dinosaurs and the history of it, and Godzilla, but I feel like they already have his descendant, and they have his research. It needs a line of dialogue, his the fact that they brought his book back makes it kind of worse. Because if they hadn't done that and just his research was destroyed. Explain away. Bob, job done. Yeah, it was. Like I said, the nationalist stuff, Japan is now somehow stronger than Russia, USA, and China. It's because reasons. It's what? You mean, explain that. It's a lot of stuff that just needs more explanation. I love it. I love the film. Don't get me wrong. It gives us the weird Jurorats, but it does give us Mecha King Ghidorah, which is so fucking cool. Metal King Ghidorah is so cool. Do I have a bit? Yeah, don't have it on back here. Oh, it does. It's there. But Metal King Ghidorah is so cool. He's in a few of the games. Because it's just cool. It's madness. That is Mecha. There's Godzilla vs King Ghidorah. I think it's good. It's mad as fuck. It just needs tidying up in my head, just to explain away some stuff. And I haven't rewatched Godzilla vs Mothra, and I don't know if that goes back to just try and explain some things. I'm guessing probably not. We'll find out. It's a mad plot. It is a mad plot. I love it, but I just remember I was oh yeah, I did just get this book. Let me just pull up. I could actually pull up the film I'm talking about. Nope. Version of Astro Monster. The 80s, so we need to get past that. To get to the 90s. 91, here we go. Godzilla vs King Ghidorah. Oh, massive splash. Ooh, look at that! I'm just going to take cover as annoying me. Especially because it's a really long book, it's hard to keep that cover on. Sorry. Oh, no, okay. Okay, this book doesn't have explanations of movie films. Wait, it doesn't have... There we go, a picture of it? Oh, okay. Yeah. Could do a better, but... Yeah! Look at that. Look at that bad boy. Yeah, I need to... Oh, I want to have a proper look for this book at some point. Maybe I'll do it once I finish all the Godzilla films. I don't know. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, and I like the pictures in there. Looks so cool. Yeah. Yeah, that is Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. The next film is Godzilla vs. Mothra from 1992, he says. Yes, 1992. Not to be confused with Mothra vs. Godzilla from 1964. But yeah, it is... I don't think I've seen that one. I think I can't remember why I didn't see that one. But yeah, we'll have a look into it in a little while. For me, it's going to be a little while because I'm going to do a couple of weeks of Halloween films. But yeah, I look forward to getting back to doing some kaiju madness. Yeah. All right. For now, I say farewell. See you guys next time. Remember, live long and prosper. I know it's not Star Trek, but I just like doing the live long and prosper. So yeah. All right. Bye.